Welcome to the Lake Forest Podcast, a podcast about the lovely city of Lake Forest, featuring topics like local news, sports, music, people, and food. My name is Pete. I'm joined with the voice of the Lake Forest football and basketball scouts, Skoo Walker. How you doing, Skoo?
Cold, sore, shovel today.
Yeah, I hit a little bit of that yesterday.
Moving a little slow.
That was kind of some wet stuff yesterday, wasn't it?
I didn't shovel yesterday. I waited. I'm not a big shovel while it comes down. And
see, I do. I kind of time it. I do half, throw a little salt down. By the way, the neighbors in Lake Forest know there's this thing called salt that you can put on the side. I'm just saying. I'm trying to be more positive, Skoo, but it's hard to be positive.
It's good to be positive.
It's hard to be positive when you're laying on your backside on the sidewalk.
So you took a header, huh?
Well, I guess.
Luckily, you didn't become your own patient.
That's true. It's pretty warm and it's pretty warm in Florida, Skoo. I hear.
And how warm is it, Pete, in Florida?
It's so warm that you can go to the beach and fish for sharks. And if you're going to get somebody, Shark Guy Beach Fishing is the premier South Florida beach fishing experience at a Longboat Key, Florida. Their world-renowned captains not only put you on the fish, but they'll help you and your family make a memory of a lifetime. Check them out on Facebook or at sharkguybeachfishing.com to schedule an outing. Shark Guy is not Skoo's guy. He's my guy for your next charter.
So is beach fishing, is that you can't go on a boat? You just throw the line out there for the shark?
We should ask Mr. Guy to come on and explain it. But
why don't we say his name?
I did. It's Shark Guy. His first name is Shark. Okay.
So you fish from the beach.
Fish from the beach, and then you pull on these little sharks, and you throw them back. And I've gotten some comments, Skoo, about. I guess Shark Guy's got a lot of friends out there, and they're and I've gotten some flack that people are saying you shouldn't accept them as an advertiser. You shouldn't accept his $25. Hey, Skoo.
What?
If the caucus
paying $25?
$25.
Wow.
Well, yeah, it's a business supporter each month, $25.
Maybe he is my guy.
No, you're more higher price. But the point is, if the caucus can accept $4,000 from Ginger,
my ginger,
I can take $25 from the Shark Guy. Doesn't mean I agree with what the Shark Guy does. Doesn't mean you agree. Okay.
About a year ago or so, we had my ginger on.
We should pull maybe we should get into the archives on that, because I think Ginger's made a 180. She's from what I hear, she's pretty popular in the moms groups now.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, which is quite amazing for what you.
Well, one day you're crotch fruit, the next day you're
my ginger. I think that was the only podcast where I wasn't on it. Yeah. But I think that was the only show where you didn't say one word.
How
or you tried
that?
To. It was like,
I was taking
wound her up, and just that battery was gone. Was a
Skoo, my mouth was open the whole time. My chin was on the desk. And when they say, hey, you only put one side on the podcast, well, there you go. Check out Ginger. Ginger, I know you're not listening out there, but I asked her to come back on, and she said, nah, once is good enough. And I'm like,
I said my piece, and then some.
And then some. But,
well, let's stay positive. Oh, we are. We're smiling, laughing. It's Friday.
Oh, we're giggling. We're giggling.
That was coming up on a year. That was wow.
Hey, look, communities are messy. Opinions are messy. That's why, you know.
What do they say about opinions? Everyone's got one, kind of like
like my hindquarter on the sidewalk. We'd also like to say we are thankful for our Patreon supporters, Reverend Luke, back from the Church of the Holy Spirit. Skoo, we got God on our side. Matt A, Elizabeth B, Costa, Lance, Otto, and RDM. Love RDM. Love
put
God too.
RDM together. It's like Artema, and then you say Artemis Pyle.
That was a great joint in Mount Prospect.
No,
all right,
Artemis
so
Come on,
we kind of had it interesting. Well, we always have interesting weeks, Skoo. You know, half the people like us
wind down the week every Friday.
Yeah. Well, half the people like us, more than half of the people don't like us. I don't know how that adds up.
And then 110% of the people not listening like us.
That is correct. But I did find out what misogynist is. And originally, when I looked it up, I thought it was, you know, when you work out too hard and you're sore, you go to a misogynist to get, you know, a rub down. I was incorrect.
I would like to see you work out and then go have a misogynist give you a rub down. That would be interesting.
All right. So I guess that means you hate women, or you say things that make you sound like you hate women. And let me just clear the air.
That's a tough one.
Well, Skoo, I'm a clear the air kind of guy. Couple things. All right. I grew up inner city, single mom, 2 sisters. Okay. So the hating women thing, nice try. Move on. Trying something else. Not sticking.
All right? I grew up in the inner city of Lake Forest, single mom, and 3 sisters.
Yeah, but you were on the east side.
I know. I was on your side, on the east side. Inner city.
Now you're in the west side. Okay. So
moving on up.
So, you know, you don't spend 20 plus years in the corporate world hating women.
Yeah, right.
You don't hate women when you promote women from within into leadership. Okay. So step off on that.
It's just a good word to use nowadays, I guess.
Well,
it's a good grouping.
So
they should just say, you know what, instead of misogynist, because it just really does not resonate with people. I mean, we're all cavemen. Call us cavemen.
Cavemen, Neanderthal.
That's what we are. Every man is. I don't care who you are. We're all cavemen. Our species is a rare species.
Now, if you want to get something that sticks on me, okay, I don't hate women. I hate that the best person available doesn't get the job or position.
Okay.
I hate that. I hate that. Hate it. Okay. And I speak up. Number 2, I hate politics. I hate when I look at somebody in the eye, I tell them what I think, and I'm honest and I'm straight up. And I hate people that are the opposite. Okay. So those 2 can stick to me. And that's where you get half of the people liking you and more than half that don't like you. See how that adds up, Skoo? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the time I've known you, you're right to the point. But hey, everyone should be right to the point. You got something to say it. Don't hide behind it. Stand up for it. Don't back down. Don't apologize if you believe in something. Just don't be afraid. Too many people are afraid now. Like to
be old school. Well, be old school, straight up. Okay, stand up for your beliefs and respect somebody else's beliefs. And I think we've respected it. Now,
well, I mean, yes, we have, but unfortunately, we're just throwing there and just talking, what we've heard and what we, know. Unfortunately, no one wants to come and listen and talk and have that conversation.
Well, they don't have to. I mean, we're at the bar. We're at the bar.
Hey, we'll buy you a drink.
PBR. Sounds like we got to get a listener party. We've had a few people say we got to get something going. So
go to the Lantern, sit down, buy you a beer, cheer you.
Go upstairs.
Oh, I got to say, Pete, what? And I said this way back when we first started this thing,
which is almost a year ago.
Oh, but remember how with a school board, I came on towards the end of that, but everyone's screaming, everyone's hollering behind the keyboards and all that, and it's like, God, who are these people? And then people started coming on, and you know what? Remember we were saying wow, that person's not really too much a psycho like everyone's thinking and making comments on. Intelligent, makes sense, great opinion. But I think that's the problem, is all these people scream and holler and want to jump on the opposite of everything and feel that's the way to do things, which is not. I mean, have civil discourses, not on the internet and not on Facebook or anything like that. Even podcasts. I mean, come on, podcasts are, I think that, civil discourse is missing and appreciating everyone's opinion. And that's too bad.
Well, it's easier to hide behind a
keyboard,
a meme. It's easier to just, You
don't have and scream.
Don't be a Terry typer. Don't do that. So we'll put that to rest. But speaking of Terry typers, I didn't make the meeting last night.
Boy, you're I think they said there's only 70 people. So again, I mean, it's and I think the majority of them are the ones, a lot of people making comments, good comments, all valid, I think, except some of the 4th of July moaning and groaning, I think was kind of hilarious. But
now what's the beef on 4th of July wearing high heels to?
I mean, it's not the whole 4th of July thing. Hey, listen, whatever way the rec decides to go with this, whether it's turf, synthetic turf, they're going to have to put something on top of it if you're going to have the 4th of July. And even if they go natural turf with grass, you're going to have to put something on top of that too, because the money that they're going to invest in drainage and all that, if it actually does go with grass, you can't have people just a 4th of July celebration where people are just trampling everything. Because then again, the whole purpose of this is to make the fields playable and usable without having to sit down and sit back and wait. And either way you go, I mean, that's why the 4th of July thing, I mean, some people, I think there are some comments that, what about the fireworks are, is that a good idea to have fireworks right close to synthetic turf? Well, if anyone knows anything about 4th of July fireworks, they're not launched from Deer Path Park. They're not. It's a fact. There's no one, launching, fireworks. I think it's on the golf on Awencia, but wherever. But it's not on the turf, and it's so whatever. I mean, but I think there are some good comments. I mean, I just think, some people were making comments that, against the synthetic. Look at what happened on the Super Bowl. Old Del Beckham blew out his knee because of synthetic turf. I don't remember anyone saying, that was the cause of his injury. But,
if they want to say something, then they should bring up, I think it was Wendell Phillips on the Philly turf on one play exploded both knees. And that was the worst green asphalt around. So
I mean, there's up, downs, and all around. Is it,
if you
more
don't have
injuries
turf,
because of it?
If you don't have the artificial stuff, do you see the taxpayers ponying up? I don't even know what the figure is.
Well, they did have some figures, and it's just
natural grass.
Oh yeah,
okay.
And they're not, obviously, people wanted, hard, fast numbers, but the underlying with maintenance and initial, development of it, the grass is more expensive, no matter how you slice and dice it. And the numbers they were using, grass versus synthetic, I would tend to say the grass is even going to be more.
Yeah.
Speaking from a guy that jumped on a tractor and used to drag the field and maintain the fields when I was coaching and all that, it's a lot of work. And there's a lot of, when it rains, you got to get turfus to fill in the dry. So the whole grass thing, again, is, I think it's going to be, the numbers they were showing last night, grass is more expensive to develop and maintain. And the other worst part about it is with the grass, there's more downtime. Plain and simple. If it rains, you're not playing on those fields until it's dried out and dragged and cultivated to get playing conditions. Where the turf, it rains. So now you can't play, obviously, if it's baseball or something, or softball, but all the other sports, lacrosse and all, they currently play right now. The other thing I didn't see, which I'd love to have some of the green meanies out there, get some numbers from the high school. That high school, even though the high school football field / soccer field / lacrosse field / field hockey field,
right.
It's been there for about 10 years or so now. Where are the numbers on those? Did anyone kind of go over to the high school?
That's what I don't get.
What
they must be too good or too bad.
Yeah, how many kids have died and how many kids have been injured because of the turf and blah, 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 blah. And I'm being facetious when I say kids died. No one's died. That's a great source right there to see, all these carcinogens and all these plastics and all that they're talking about that are getting into the water and all this and in the air. And how's a high school? What's a high school seeing from this? And I don't know. I don't think it's, all I know is those games that are being played on there, there's parents loving it. Kids are loving it. Yeah. I haven't heard anyone hating the turf at the high school. I think there was a high school kid on there last night making a comment about, I guess he's a soccer player or something, and against the turf and all that. But hey, listen, I don't see any high school soccer players screaming about the turf at the high school. As a matter of fact, I think they all love it as compared to what it was. So I don't know. I mean, everyone's got an opinion.
I think if you have the artificial turf, again, okay, I don't like turf. I got all my joints replaced, okay? I get it. I don't like it. But in this area, if you have the artificial stuff, more often than not, you will have playing going on and kids being more active, right? Than if you have the regular grass. And if you have the regular grass and you have downtime, and then you have more kids not being active, downing Starbucks, right?
Yeah, and there's more. And again, we've said it before. I'm a grass field, natural grass athlete and coach, and like to see that. But I also understand that is going to promote more activity. That's going to promote more play and more revenue, as hopefully if they do
quality of play. So I guess the question is, do the taxpayers want to pay more for the grass? So I don't know.
The question out there is really how much is the taxpayer paying? Because a lot of this is earmarked already, and that's a whole nother discussion. But again, it's like, I get all the green meanies that are saying how bad this is for the environment and all that. But again, I mean, I'm not a scientist and don't claim to be, but I don't think there's enough data right now anyways to project, you can say, yeah, these plastics stay and ruin the environment, but is there really proof of that right now? I mean, we're so small time-wise into turf that is there really like studies showing that all this? I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing all this.
Here,
see all this stuff now.
Let me give you a Lake Forest podcast study. I want to say more than 80% of the green meanies have never played sports. And if they did play sports or had kids that played sports, never played any contact sports or any sports that have anything to do with artificial turf. Just throwing it out there.
No, I would totally agree with you. Just seeing the people and what they're yelling at is, it's almost their anti-kids and family athletics, because I'm telling there's nothing but good things that can come out of this. And, either way, I mean, it's.
Can we make our kids any softer? I mean, serious. This is a whole nother tangent, Skoo, but Russia's looking at America and saying, "Oh my God, what a bunch of."
Look at the Olympics.
The Olympics, yeah. What is going on with the Olympics?
I don't know. I'm not even watching it. It just doesn't. There's something happened last night or yesterday, whatever the time zone is, with that Russian skater. I guess she lost, and everyone's now all of a sudden like, oh, poor so and so. I'm like, Russia's been doing this with the Olympics doping for forever. They had female skaters when we were growing up that looked like you and the size of you.
I mean,
now we're feeling sorry for a 15-year-old who they were doping up. Yeah, it's horrible, 15-year-old, but don't throw the poor her. I mean,
have different
the whole sports
classes,
thing is like, you're right. Everyone's soft. Everyone, the wonderful participation trophy. Can't have winners. We can't have losers. Everyone just gets to participate and fun, and everything's great. And then these athletes get to high school and get just beat to crap because they're coming up in the lower levels as, hey, just, it's okay. Here's your juice box and all that. And they're and not all kids are soft. I mean, I'm just generalizing.
No, but it's getting softer. It just is,
But the thing out of last night's meeting, I guess my takeaway was, I hope the city learned something and not to hire these expert, consulting groups. I mean, they had 5 guys facilitating the thing.
Well, they're getting paid.
I know they're getting paid. And you know what? I don't really care where the money came from, if it was from, money that was in the coffers already, but still, I mean, people are asking these people, where's your data on this? And they're like, hey, we're just consultants. We were hired to facilitate these 2 meetings, and we don't have anything to do with the turf and all this stuff. And
so basically they're very expensive referees.
Yeah. And
to run a Zoom meeting.
So the one takeaway is, hopefully the city doesn't do this anymore for anything, whether it's rec related, whether it's, building a building or tearing down bring it to the public for input. I was expecting we were going to vote, to be honest with you, after the meeting. I thought they were going to call a vote for the public to decide whether we do or not. That's a joke. But I mean, back to our whole thing, Pete, it's the whole thing is, these are folks on the boards and commissions that are working hard, like the rec board. Just, if this is approved by the city and everyone's agreed this is what's good, that's their role. Vote on it.
Yeah.
Push it through to either push it through to the city council to decide the fate, or don't push it through. But hiring groups and getting all these people screaming and hollering is just, there's no.
Well, maybe they have to. Is that part of the procedures? I mean, I don't know.
No, they don't have to. But it's, we probably should get everyone involved. Well, no, you don't. Because they're not going to vote on it.
Yeah.
General public that's out here screaming and hollering not to do it has no input except for the screaming and hollering. Now, of course, the rec board members can be influenced by that and, make their decision that way, but more power to them. Whatever way they do, that's it. But what a waste of time. I mean, I thought it was going to be more productive last night. They went through the stuff. It was great. They went through, each concern, stopped along the way, got input from, you had to type in your comments and all that. But
are they going to make that public if you couldn't make it?
Yeah. It's out there probably already.
All right.
But
all right.
the thing is that there's going to be, I guess, some more a survey and all that for the public to answer. Then I think it's March 15th or whatever the next rec board meeting is. The rec board's going to hopefully decide on that. And then I think the following April, maybe, I think it goes to city council if it needs to go there. But,
if I'm going to keep talking about it, I'll go back and watch it and then reserve judgment, but I don't see anything changing. It's,
I mean, they took the people's comments and prioritization from the first meeting. And then they went through them and then they had, kind of a Q&A and here's the question, here's the answer, here's some costs. But the cost, I mean, it was, of course, turf's going to be cheaper. Even though it's expensive, it's cheaper. And that was kind of relevant, except for some people said, wow, who made those estimates? The city? Come on. Like, we need an independent, it's like, the city, they're the ones that, I mean, it's not much different, but it's, I think the one thing, they showed the 4 different opportunities. One is to leave it alone. One is to do all turf or synthetic turf. One was to do all grass. And then the 4th one, I think, was a hybrid, which it's funny because a lot of people seem like they like the hybrid. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Going to do half the field turf and then like two baseball fields?
Infield or?
No, like
the old St. Louis?
No. So no. So the whole park would be synthetic or grass. Okay. There's 4 diamonds on there, and the recommendation was a bulk of 2 diamonds and a bulk of Deer Path would be synthetic, and then 2 diamonds and a smaller portion of the park would be grass, and it's like this resident that's like, oh yeah, at least I like that. We can do both. Are you kidding me? To do both? I mean, that's kind of the mentality. It's like, oh yeah, if we can do both. But no, that's going to be costly, probably more costly to do both. And then again, what's the purpose of it? One or the other. I mean, I don't know. And then there's another good point they were making that, 10 or so years, you got to pull it up and put new down. And someone had asked, what if we decide to go grass again after 10 years or something? Oh, great, you can. And, I'm sure it's
bulldoze it.
But again, I guess my point on that is, it's called progress. So let's do the turf. It makes sense now from a cost standpoint and see how it goes. When it comes to the point when you have to replace it, maybe that's a whole nother discussion. Like, what, here's the cost benefit around the last 10 years. Did it produce what we thought it would? Yes, no. Do we want to go back to turf? I mean, and they're saying, yeah, you can, because you got the foundation, you got to put the drainage in no matter what. And, there's some composite that goes underneath for the turf, the synthetic, but I just think, come up and do what's going on around in different communities for these kids. And it's about the kids. It's not about the parents. It's not about anyone. This is, athletic programming for the kids. And
consistent play.
And if it works, let's do it. Let's give it a whirl. Don't no hybrid, do it, see how it goes. And with it, you have a 10-year window where you have to replace it, and maybe at that point we reevaluate. I don't know, but I just think it was kind of good and bad. But boy, I tell you, I hope the city doesn't do that stuff anymore. It just creates the delay, and it's just kind of wishy-washy. Make a decision, vote on it. Don't worry about what people, if you feel like this is what the programming calls for.
I think that's how politics is, man. I think you just got to do that.
Yeah, but this isn't politics.
Everything is politics.
I know, but it's not. It's the rec wanting to do something and move forward, having the funding, and they get approval through the rec board. The rec board looks at it, and that's the problem. It's not politics. It's wishy-washy. Let's bring in the public so they can make that decision for us. So we don't want to make the decision. That's what you're there for.
So they're spreading the risk around.
Yeah, if the city staff decides this is what we need to do, here's how we're going to fund it, this is what we're going to do. Rec board, any board, make that call, vote on it, move it forward, and move on.
All right.
A lot of people, it is they bring politics in it because they don't want to, I don't want to be the person that voted whatever way. So,
well, I mean, you also want to get your name out there in case you want to run for politics.
That's true.
I'm standing behind.
Right.
My platform is.
You're right, which is what this, I think, is turned into, which it should be. It's all this. If you're, the underlying principle is we're doing this for the kids and the programming in the community to make it better. And if you're opposed to it, you must be opposed. You must be opposed to not providing adequate fields and proper play and all that for the kids who are, so
you want fat, soft kids.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But it was an hour and a half. It was okay. I mean,
okay. All right.
Nothing really came out of it, really. I mean, it just.
All right. I'll try and find it, and I'll look at it and see if there's anything in there. But, I'm trying to get other points of view. I just don't see any that match mine. What about the ComEd bridge? Didn't hear anything yet. That hasn't made the radar yet. I need a picture of that bridge. They're going to tear down the bridge in Deer Path.
Yeah. Now, that's happening.
There's a bridge on Woodland. There's a bridge overpass at 41 in Deer Path. Is that what you're talking about? The overpass?
So Deer Path, when you're on Deer Path going west to 41, there's 3 bridges. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 3 bridges. There's a train bridge. I think the train is the first one. Okay. No, train's the second one. And then the first one is right above there's a bike path going down. When you're biking. I saw you biking a couple times this past summer.
With square wheels.
So bike path, walking path is above there. And it's, to get over Deer Path, it's a cement bridge that's been there for God knows how long. And then there's, the overpass for 41. So that's, I believe it's the first bridge going west by the golf course. That's owned by ComEd that they're taking down and replacing, which I believe is happening. But
that hasn't made the radar yet, so we're on it.
I think it'll probably show up at the next city council meeting, probably, because that's coming close to starting. Because they said March or something for spring break, they're shutting down Deer Path so they can take down the bridge. So I'm sure.
Quick question, the people that are beefing or people that like us or whatnot, has anyone in Lake Forest ever done anything like we're doing here?
Like a podcast?
No, just like having a forum, a megaphone to talk about what's going in town. I guess the closest thing would be the newspapers and the commentary section.
Well, I mean, not a podcast per se, but yeah, there used to be.
Well, there was no podcast. There was radio stations.
There used to, well, there's not really a radio station here, but there was.
Was there Lake
Forester? No, there's Lake Forester. Okay. There might have been at the school or college, but there was Lake Forester and the, what's it called? There is a competitor to the Lake Forester, but they always had a political section and all that and what's going on and all that. So people could read and catch up and all that stuff. But people used to go to these board meetings, and there's people in the community that held these boards and commission members accountable, and question them. If you're sitting there sleeping you're a board or board member or commissioner, and you're sleeping at the wheel, people were calling you out and all that, and it was face to face. And I remember there's a lot of people that didn't like a certain person, but at the end of the day, the guy was a smart guy. He asked the right questions, and sometimes challenged these boards and commissioners, as well as the mayor, as well as the city manager. Yeah. But no, that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, everyone, it's hide behind the keyboard as opposed to show up and,
Okay.
And even talking about the meeting last night, I'll bet dollars to donuts. There was no reason that we couldn't have done this in person, but I think they went, Zoom as a scapegoat. There's just too many people screaming and hollering, and which was a good thing they went on Zoom, because I think if they went in person, there would have been a whole faction of people screaming and hollering. And last night,
because there was nobody there at the first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, 50, 60
and there was 70 people at last night. So, I mean,
all right.
Obviously, nobody really, how many people are in town? Right. 16,000.
I thought it was 19.
19. Boy, we better get our fact checkers to get that right, because we're going to get nailed on that one.
Hey, all right, so nothing came up of that. Then let's get back to the athletes. A lot of cool stuff happening with the athletes in the area. So let's start with the Nowick family. What happened there, Skoo?
Cade? Well, Cade had a horrible injury that knocked him out of football season, basketball season. Now he just got back into basketball the last couple games, but evidently going to Denison. Going to continue playing there, which is a great thing.
That is a good school. Way to go, Pops.
And I think there were 8 or 9 other kids or something like that are going and playing onward. I heard Leo is going to Notre Dame, playing there.
What? I did not hear that.
Oh, come on, Pete. Yeah.
Scheidler?
Yep, with his brother. His brother, I think, is a senior playing there. So yeah, there's a lot of Lake Forest connection at Notre Dame, particularly with Tommy Reese. But yeah, I don't know what Leo's playing.
Anything he wants.
Yeah.
He's freaking good.
I think he's the best quarterback Lake Forest has seen in a long, long time. 30 or more years. I mean,
he got game.
And he got a lot of, I think, post awards too. Different awards. Well, so yeah, his cornerback skills, I think, are even better. But so yeah, he's got a pretty bright future.
They didn't throw his way. They didn't throw his way.
Oh. No.
No. Well, then you had Shahari on the other side.
Yeah. So they heard it. They got Max Turlap. He's going to Loris, playing football there. So yeah, I mean, the girls basketball.
Tough one.
Oh, man,
overtime at Viters.
Yeah, but I think they're out in Wakanda playing. But yeah, Viter, they were the 4th seed, and Lake Forest was the 5th seed, and yeah, I didn't see the game, but I heard it was, they were winning with like 20 seconds left and went to overtime, and then they ended up losing by 5. But great season. I mean, I think they finished with 19 wins. You know,
not bad.
So,
who's the coach of that team?
Stacy Leach.
Stacy Leach. Way to go, coach.
Second or third year. Took over for Kyle Wilhelm. But yeah, I mean, she's done a great job. I mean, it's, Lake Forest a couple of years ago had a lot of talent, girl talent, and it all graduated, and it was like, okay, maybe it's a down year, but they had 19-win seasons. Pretty good.
Now I'm looking at my notes here. I mean, you're the sports guy, but it looks like they got a couple juniors coming back that made all conference. Bella Ranello.
Yep, the point guard. She's really good. Rachel Kaus.
Kaus, that's how you say it?
Now, don't take it wrong. She's an animal, man. She's a one tough cookie. Her sister was good too, but Rachel, man, she gets hot. She's just strong, and
they got game.
Oh yeah. So they're coming back, and they got a couple freshmen that played this year. Two different ones. Freshmen started off and on. So they're coming back. So the team is, they've done the girls program has really picked up over the last several years. And like I said, when they lost a lot of the girls, real talented ones, you think there's going to be a down slot, but I mean, it keeps, generating good young talent. I mean, it's the same model the boys are using, and that's been, the guys and the girls basketball programs, they're big into the feeder programs. All the coaches are connected to the lower levels and all that. So it is which is a great thing, because that's the way it should be, is, high school coaches should know who the upcoming younger talent is. And I think it just makes that transition into high school so much more, and makes them more competitive. I mean, both Phil and Stacy, and Kyle, not taking away from Stacy, but Kyle Wilhelm too. And he just, he was doing it for years too before he stepped down. But those guys they're doing the right thing. And that's the key.
We talked about the ladies. Let's get to the boys, man.
Yeah, the guys are, I want to say tomorrow night. I don't think it's tonight, but I think tomorrow night they open up.
Well, they wrapped up the championship though at Waukegan.
Yeah,
that's not much.
North Suburban Conference champs. That's I think that's the first time in several years, 10, 12 years, that they've had good teams too, but they've also had some really good competition in North Suburban. But yeah, they won the North Suburban, but the funniest thing is with both teams is both teams dropped down into the state playoffs to 3A.
Oh.
And everyone in the conference, I believe, is 4A. And the Scouts dropped down to 3A because of their size. We're small, but we dominate the big teams. And like the boys, I mean, they won the conference this year, dominated it, but all the conference foes are in 4A, and the Scouts dropped down to 3A, and they are the number one seed in the sectional that they're in. And, just looking at the teams in the sectional, they can make some serious. I would be shocked if they don't get out of the sectional. I mean,
well, educate me. Asa Thomas, is that it? Asa?
Asa, yeah.
He's the big man. He puts up 20 points on 6 threes on his birthday.
Yeah, 6'7". Can dribble over half court and jumper. Boom. But he's good. I mean, they got their team is well spread out. They know,
what about
he's their big scorer.
Tommy Aberley.
Tommy Aberley. Yeah. I said last year I thought Cade was the best 3-sport athlete the high school seen in years. I still think he is, but Tommy, he's a sophomore, and he starts on all the major sports.
Sophomore,
and he's a stud. I mean, stud. But he's like kind of like Cade. I mean, those two. I mean, Tommy, I think it was 6'1", and he plays down low like a big man. I mean, and so he's tough. I mean, the kid, you look at him on the basketball court and you're like, wait, he was a linebacker on the varsity football team. But yeah, he's an animal too. And but they got a well balanced, and I tell you, they got a good bench. But Phil's got them. I can't say enough about the basketball coaches. They got these kids playing the way they want, and Phil is just, I mean, they keep these teams under 40 points. They're going to win all the time, and that's it seems like a goal of theirs is to, do that, and they are tenacious defenders. So it's going to be tough for a lot of those teams, and I think they got the bye, so I think they play tomorrow, their first game. Yeah, they're good. They're good. I wouldn't be, like I said, I mean, they're dropping down to some lesser, three, I shouldn't say lesser teams, but not the same competition that the Scouts have faced all year. So, and the Scouts they got 5 or 6 losses, but those were losses that were could have gone either way, and they were against top ranked teams. So it's a good ball club.
Of course, Scheidler puts up 10 rebounds. Now I see the Notre Dame on him. That's outstanding.
Wow.
Way to go, Mom, Dad.
But they're good. I mean, it's, and not just to talk about the girls and guys basketball, all the winter sports teams had great seasons and, are doing in the state tournaments or whatever way they're doing. And, the spring sports are starting. So, knock on wood, this is great. I mean, it's finally got full seasons in for these kids, which, if you remember last year, they piled spring and winter all into, 2 months at the end of the year. So,
hopefully they don't need those chin straps anymore.
Well, as soon as that thing was lifted, man, Lake Forest I don't think you could see any chin straps. All those kids shed those masks real quick.
All right, let's throw this one out there. Hey, Joanna Rolek, I know you're not listening, but she's got a little something over at the Deer Path on March 4th for our small businesses. Their annual business and government breakfast. So that's 7:30 a.m. at Deer Path.
And that's a good breakfast.
I ain't gonna lie, they got good food.
Oh,
people give me grief that I'm not a fan. I just
you don't like the Deer Path? Come on.
I do like the Deer. I'm just when I reach into my pocket and I pull out the money, I feel it. It's like Velcro.
Yeah,
I feel
hear you.
But it's good. It's great. It's but Joanna, we gotta get some more of these new small businesses on here.
Yeah.
I think businesses.
I gotta get Joanna to push a couple our way who we should talk to, because she does a phenomenal job too.
No, she's good. We had her on. We'll put her right here. She did a great job on the show. Any small businesses that need help, please come on. And if you want to get some great advertising like our shark guy, $25. Come on. We're the best value in town.
Because we don't, we got a lot of listeners. Got a lot of listeners and some non-listener listeners.
It is ever since we went to video, man. And video's getting shorter and shorter and shorter. People only want 1 minute now.
Video saves the rock star.
How can you take what we have to say into 1 minute? You know what I mean? That's all people want to listen to. So I will try to upgrade my editing skills to get that.
User.
Oh, Skoo, Super Bowl.
Yes. Wow.
How was halftime for you?
Did not see it. Saw part of it. So part of it was eating dinner with the in-law and Pam, and then we're like, gotta get back to the game. But yeah. I like the
commercials.
I'm trying to think of it. It wasn't really a lot of car commercials.
I watched a little Netflix and went to bed, Skoo.
No Super Bowl?
It's lost its luster.
I called a blowout either way. I was obviously dead wrong.
Oh, that's right. We both called a blowout, but I picked the right team.
I thought it was going to happen when
I was saying
LA
saying
started.
that till the end.
Yeah, you were good call. Yeah, you safe call.
What a safe call! A better team.
They were a better team.
Should Cooper Kupp have won MVP?
If they didn't have Cooper Kupp, they wouldn't have won. I don't care how good Matthew Stafford,
that'd be valuable.
Is he Hall of Fame? I doubt it. But if Cooper Kupp wasn't there, they don't win. So, and he was the offensive player of the year. So yeah, I mean, well, here's the other thing. You didn't see this, but Aaron Donald was, the next coming of, whatever. He's good. But the one play towards, I think it was a third down play, where they're like, oh my God, he tackled that guy with one arm, and threw him back. It was a 3rd and 1 right before the last play of the game.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny because the only reason he threw the running back with one arm was because 91 or whatever had tackled him at the feet and was holding him. I mean, tackled him. But no one gave credit to the poor guy. I mean, he's a reason, but, whatever.
Before we forget, let's give a shout out to Dr. Jill Barron, first woman president at Lake Forest College.
Wow, nice. Congratulations.
And like
get her on the show, Pete.
Better. Phone's ringing. Yeah, your phone hasn't been ringing, Skoo. I'm sure she was the best person for the position. Great job, and it just happens to be the first woman. Great. Oh, Spin Doctors at Gorton.
Is that
February
awesome?
26th. That's next week.
Spin Doctors. I love the Spin Doctors.
Oh man, those 2 hits they had. I forgot the second one, but 92, 93 was it? Maybe
Little
94.
Miss.
Can't be wrong. That sounds like our Terry Typers.
Yeah, that's awesome though. I mean, the Spin Doctors at Gorton. Who would have thunk that?
Well, great job booking. Great job booking. Wish we knew who the booker was over there.
When's Chick Norris being at Gorton?
Chick Norris is probably not going to be Chick Norris, but Sassholes could be
Is that just a contract issue and all that, or why are we getting
creative differences on Chick Norris? But no, we got a little something cooking. The Sassholes. That's just a working title for the band, but we got together, and boy, is the bassist rusty. My goodness. But I think we'll have a couple songs you'll like.
You need to do a Beatles, just like maybe a Market Square impromptu.
On the roof of Gerhardt's or your place?
No, just it's the right in Market Square. Just maybe you jump up onto the fountain before they fill it up.
Put the water in it, or especially when they have the water in it.
Yeah,
that'll go well with the electricity.
Oh, you know what would be a good place to do? You guys could get on the roof of the train station.
Interesting. Now I just have to be able to get up a ladder.
Impromptu.
No, the band's going. Ever since I got rid of my other commitment, or they got rid of me, I've had more time to practice, and it's been good. It's been good, Skoo. It's been real good. All right. Thanks for listening to the Lake Forest Podcast. Please give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and smash that like button on Facebook, Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Let us know what you'd like to hear about on the upcoming shows. Again, I'm Pete. You can reach Pete at lakeforestpodcast.com. The link will be in the podcast notes below. We thank our Patreon sponsor, Shark Guy Beach Fishing, the premier South Florida beach fishing experience out of Longboat Key, Florida. Their world's renowned captains not only put you on the fish, but they'll help you and your family make a memory of a lifetime. Check them out on Facebook or at sharkguybeachfishing.com and contact them today to schedule an outing. Shark Guy is not Skoo's guy, but he's my guy. for your next charter.
And that's okay.
Shark Guy's $25 is good enough for me. We'd also like to say, hey, we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Reverend Luke Pack from the Church of the Holy Spirit. Matt A, Elizabeth B, Coastal Lance, Otto, and Artie M.
Artemis Pyle.
On behalf of my co-host, Skoo Walker, we thank you for listening. Cue the music.